BabetteEBensoussan Analysis Without Paralysis. Dive into the world of strategic analysis with Analysis Without Paralysis by BabetteEBensoussan. Explore concepts crucial to developing sustainable, competitive strategies in today's fast-paced business environment. The summary will guide you through key tactics, such as understanding your competitors, making sense of financial ratios, examining external environmental factors, and more. This easy-to-understand guide will empower you to analyze your company's standing, allowing you to respond swiftly to industry changes and capitalize on opportunities. Fuel your decision-making process with systematically derived data, and transform your ideas into concrete plans.
The importance of analysis in corporate strategy. Executives must analyze their strategy, industry, rivals, and business environment to develop effective and sustainable corporate strategies. With today's global competition and emphasis on synthesizing data, relying on intuition and experience is no longer enough. Effective analysis requires experience, intuition, models, and a basic grasp of the advantages that analysis can bring. Additionally, while gathering data is easier than analyzing it, it's crucial to ask what other data is needed to address problems. Cogent analysis enhances decision-making, allows for a rapid response to environmental changes, and provides the tools needed to transform ideas into concrete plans. Mastering business analysis. Business analysis involves breaking down a problem into its components, understanding the underlying reasoning for the analysis, collecting relevant data, interpreting data to make sense of it, and drawing implications from it to make informed decisions. Expertise in business analysis can be achieved by exercising analytical muscles, setting research goals, experimenting with new analytical tools, and practicing unbiased judgment. This summary sheds more light on the subject and offers 10 classic techniques that are valuable to business executives. BCG Growth Matrix. General Electric and the Boston Consulting Group developed the BCG Growth Matrix in the early 1960s as a way for firms to evaluate their portfolio strategies and resource allocation. The matrix categorizes a company's market share and growth prospects into 4 boxes: cash cow, star, problem child, and dog. Companies are advised to milk high market share/low growth products, cash cow, invest in high market share/high growth products, star, study high growth/low market share products, problem child, and sell or close low market share/low growth products, dog. Though simple, the matrix has some shortcomings, like equating market share with profitability and ignoring some successful low growth firms. Understanding your competitors. Knowing your competition can be the key to managing prospects and risks. Studying your rivals allows you to learn their strategies, understand their predictable responses, and identify weak spots you can exploit. This analysis, first proposed by Harvard's Michael Porter, helps you prepare both defensive and offensive plans. To gather and analyze data about your competitors, focus on their future goals, current strategies, resources, and management assumptions. However, relying too heavily on this analysis can hinder your ability to identify opportunities and unique solutions. Understanding your competitors should be one aspect of your strategy, not the entire strategy itself. Strategic planning with financial ratio and statement analysis. Understanding and applying the fundamentals of financial ratio and statement analysis, FRSA, is essential for effective strategic planning. By learning the accounting equation and its components, and how to read income statements and position statements, you can gain valuable insight into a company's assets, liabilities, and equity. Monitoring key ratios such as inventory to sales and debt to equity can also provide performance indicators, but it's important not to overemphasize financials relative to industry benchmarks. FRSA offers a static view of progress, so continuous analysis and adaptation are crucial for success in strategic planning. Porter's 5 Forces. Discover the competitive environment of your industry with Porter's methodology. Analyze 5 forces: the threat of new entrants, bargaining power of suppliers and buyers, threat of substitutes, and degree of rivalry among competitors. Rank each force's intensity, predict how they impact profitability, and respond accordingly. While your industry is crucial, focusing on your core competencies can override concerns about the industry. Execute decisions yourself, without needing to convince anyone. Navigating external environments. As a business, it's critical to stay ahead of external challenges that may affect your strategy. This is where public environmental intelligence comes into play. By identifying societal and policy issues, companies can make informed strategic choices. This may involve adjusting practices, voicing opinions about legislation, or exiting businesses that conflict with community standards. The key is to prioritize issues and scenarios and prepare for them accordingly. However, since policy issues can be unpredictable, creative reasoning is needed to navigate external environments effectively. Staying current with analysis is also crucial to ensure flexibility in responding to challenges. Understanding political risk analysis. Political risk analysis, PRA, provides essential intelligence about government policies and actions and how they impact corporate activities. This includes tax and tariff regimes, political unrest, corruption, legislation, and threats to physical and intellectual assets. In today's globalized world, PRA is essential to any strategic arsenal, especially in areas like outsourcing, intellectual property protection, and political instability. However, with the complexity of this field, it is crucial to check the reliability of available information. Many firms now hire consultants to keep them updated. Analyzing political risk is part art and part science and requires cautiousness, particularly surrounding unfamiliar cultures. Crafting business futures. Businesses make scenarios, detailed descriptions of the future to aid in strategic planning. Scenario analysts use computer-generated models and cross-impact analysis to assess quantitative variables. To develop a useful scenario analysis, create multiple possible descriptions of the future, use deductive or inductive reduction to explore possible paths. A good scenario analysis can initiate discussion and action among strategy makers, and businesses should remain open-minded about possible real change in the future. Scenario analysis clarifies highly uncertain situations that are subject to expensive shocks, which is a useful tool in the strategic planning process. Understanding external factors. Strategic planning involves analyzing variables outside a company's control, known as steep or pest factors. These include political, economic, social, technological, and ecological variables that create uncertainty. Competitors are likely assessing these factors as well. To better understand these external factors, think of an organization's environment as three concentric rings: the internal environment, the operating environment, clients, vendors, and competitors, and the general or steep environment. Key factors to consider include unionization, consumer ethics, technological access, inflation, GDP, environmental regulations, and more. However, defining these variables can be challenging. Mastering SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis has been the cornerstone of company risk assessment since the 1970s. Businesses can evaluate their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This analysis is best paired with STEEP and 5 forces for strategizing at the division, product, or operating level. The SWOT implementation is simple and affordable. However, it provides no quantitative data and has subjective data interpretation, rendering it more suitable for strategic thinking than strategy execution. To use SWOT accurately, ask, what can we do, what might we do, what do we want to do, and what do others expect us to do? Maximizing profits through value chain analysis. Value chain analysis, VCA, breaks down a company's economic value creation components, assesses their costs, and enhances them to satisfy customers and increase profits. This approach considers two sides of a firm, primary and support activities, allowing companies to identify and refine their strengths and weaknesses while comparing costs to value. VCA can also help visualize a company's position in the industry and refine SWOT analysis. However, its limitations include a focus on physical products and assets and an investment of time and resources for benchmarking, research, and analysis. Nonetheless, VCA remains applicable to IT and service companies.
As you have now ventured through the strategic tools and techniques offered in Analysis Without Paralysis, the power of effective analysis in molding competitive strategies is evident. Understanding the nuances of your industry and competition, integrating financial insights, and recognizing external challenges are crucial factors in shaping your success in today's fast-paced business landscape. Remember, honing your analytical skills is an ongoing process. Continue to flex these muscles, adapt to ever-changing environments, and remain curious about new data to stay ahead of the curve. As a maestro of strategic analysis, your company will thrive, and the waves of uncertainty will be conquered with ease.